What if a bustling city, with bakeries pulling fresh loaves, children playing in courtyards, markets full of shoppers, suddenly turned silent forever in a single day? In AD 79, a volcano did just that. The city of Pompeii was buried, its people entombed in ash, and life stopped dead, frozen in time for nearly 2 millennia. Pompeii sat 20 miles southeast of Naples, at the foot of Mount Vesuvius, an active volcano the residents had long ignored. On what scholars believe was the night of October 17, AD 79, the volcano erupted. First came heavy pumice and ash raining down, piling feet deep on the streets and rooftops. Many took shelter indoors, while some tried to escape. As the pumice grew too heavy, roofs collapsed, crushing those inside or trapping them under rubble. Then came the killer blow, a pyroclastic flow, a superheated cloud of gas and volcanic debris moving at high speed, engulfed Pompeii, incinerating and suffocating any survivors in seconds. The remains were instantly sealed under a thick shroud of ash and pumice, preserving walls, mosaics, food, furniture, and the final moments of people still clutching coins or fleeing in terror. The volcanic burial acted as a time capsule. Because ash and pumice settled quickly and then hardened, they prevented decay, moisture, and looting. When Pompeii was rediscovered in 1748, it revealed something extraordinary, a full snapshot of Roman daily life frozen in place, from shops and taverns to luxurious villas, public baths and private homes. Archaeologists found carbonized loaves of bread still in ovens, pottery and amphorae scattered in what would have been lively marketplaces, and graffiti etched on walls. Even the shapes of people, their final death throes, were preserved. Because bodies decomposed but left voids in the ash, excavators later filled those spaces with plaster to reveal realistic casts of the victims in their last moments, huddled, curled up, clutching valuables or scrambling for escape. One chilling example is a villa recently excavated at Pompeii where archaeologists uncovered 2 skeletons in a lower corridor, likely sheltering during the eruption. The remains belonged to a man and a woman. The woman lay near jewelry and coins, suggesting she may have tried to gather valuables before the disaster struck. Another example comes from the hundreds of plaster casts made since the 19th century. One body, curled into a fetal position, suggests suffocation, while others appear collapsed in more contorted poses, perhaps victims of the sudden thermal shock from the pyroclastic surge. These casts aren't art, they are grim evidence of a city's instant demise. For centuries, the accepted date of the eruption was August 24, AD 79, following the account of an eyewitness, Pliny the Younger. But, recent archaeological findings, charcoal graffiti on walls with dates corresponding to October, autumn fruit remnants in houses, and heavy clothing on victims, all suggest that the eruption may have occurred later, possibly in October. This revision really reshapes how we understand the atmospheric conditions, the clothing, and survival strategies of Pompeii's residents. Moreover, new excavations keep revealing surprising elements of everyday Roman life. Lavish private bath complexes, shops selling fast food, bakeries and painted houses give us a far richer picture of urban life before disaster. These findings challenge the notion that Pompeii was an isolated provincial town. It was vibrant, cosmopolitan, and deeply Roman. Pompeii isn't just ancient history, it's a cautionary tale for today. It shows the power of natural disasters to wipe out entire communities in moments, regardless of wealth or social standing. The modern world, though technologically advanced, remains vulnerable to volcanoes, tsunamis, earthquakes, climate disasters. Cities built right up to volcano slopes or coastlines, rapidly expanding populations. We still live on fault lines, literally and figuratively. Pompeii also underscores the importance of preservation. Because the ash sealed the city so thoroughly, we now have perhaps the richest archaeological record of daily life in antiquity. Without that volcanic disaster, we would know far less about Roman urban planning, commerce, art, social structure, and human experience 2,000 years ago. That's a reminder. Sometimes catastrophe preserves history in ways peaceful change cannot. Archaeologists still uncover new parts of Pompeii: houses, artifacts, graffiti structural details. Each find doesn't just tell us what people had, but how they lived, worked, loved, and died. Recent studies are even using modern techniques, DNA isotopic analysis material studies, to re-examine victims' diets, origins, health, and genetics, giving fresh light on the diversity and mobility of Roman society. Pompeii remains a living laboratory for historians, archaeologists, and human storytellers. Pompeii shows how quickly civilization can vanish and how deeply it can be preserved. Its ash-preserved streets, its silent shops, its plaster-cast victims all speak to a moment of rupture, but also to a frozen world that continues to teach us. If you want to understand not just ancient Rome, but the fragility of urban life, the echo of disaster, and the ruthless yet revealing power of nature, then Pompeii is as relevant today as it was 2,000 years ago. If this journey through ash and memory resonated with you, hit like, subscribe, and join me for the next video. We'll explore how nearby Herculaneum, buried alongside Pompeii, offers an even deeper look into Roman lives preserved by disaster.